Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet. नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भगवतः सेवया भगवति उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी. Hare Krishna, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. And we will continue with Canto 1, Creation. Chapter number 13, Dhritarashtra quits home. We completed till verse number 30, so now we are continuing with verse number 31. Ajatashatru-kritamaitrahutāgnir viprannatva tilago bhumirukamai griham pravishto guruvandanaya na chapashyat pitarau saubalim cha. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Maharaj Yudhishthir, whose enemy was never born, performed his daily morning duties by praying, offering fire sacrifice to the sun god, and offering obeisances, grains, cows, land, and gold to the Brahmanas. He then entered the palace to pay respects to the elderly. However, he could not find his uncles or aunt, the daughter of King Subala. Om Agyanatimirandasya Gyananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmanitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So, I don't know if any of you remember what we learned in the previous class, which was 2 weeks ago, from this chapter on how Dhritarashtra is quitting the home. So, in this we can see now that Yudhishthira Maharaj, as we can see, he's gotten up in the morning and he's trying to look for his uncle and aunt, which is Dhritarashtra and Gandhari. But the remaining part of this chapter will teach us how important it is to become self-realized before it's too late. Unfortunately, we have a feeling that we are going to live forever or we are not going to die now. We have a long, long life ahead of us. And so we become lazy. Those of us who have started on this path of self-realization, sometimes we remain on a plateau. In the beginning, we progress, and then we become a little bit lazy and then stay on a plateau. Now, here we will learn the condition of Dhritarashtra. You know, he was so much attached to his family, to the kingdom, to the relatives, etc. But we heard from verse 1 through 30 how Vidura chastises him. He reminds him that the old age, death, time, it spares no one. Doesn't matter who it is, even if it's a king. You see, he criticizes him for living, comfortably at the expense of his enemies, because Dhritarashtra always considered Pandavas his enemies, right? So here Vidura is urging him to leave immediately. That was the urgency. Not that telling Dhritarashtra, oh, you think about it, what I'm saying, give it a thought for a few weeks, and then we'll talk about it. No, he says, leave right now. He says, you prepare yourself for death through practice of spirituality. You see? So the powerful words of Vidura awakened the consciousness of Dhritarashtra, and immediately he became detached without informing anyone, because he knew if he's going to inform, hey, say supposing he goes to Yudhishthira Maharaj and says, okay, I want to, leave the kingdom and I want to go to the forest. You think Yudhishthira would allow? No, he would say, no, you two are very old. I need to take care of you. No. So, without informing anyone, he leaves the palace at night with his wife Gandhari, with Vidura, and the chapter says also with Kunti. You see? So, why did they go to the forest? Because now he had reached the stage of Vanaprastha. So, there are 4 stages in life. There's Brahmachari, which is a single life where you're not married. Then there's Grahastha, which is married life. Then there's Vanaprastha, which is retired life. You see? And then comes sannyas, which is renounced order of life. Of course, in this age, renunciation is not recommended. So here, Dhritarashtra leaves for the forest for the Vanaprastha stage of his life, where he starts performing austerities and meditation. This was a process at that time, right? And here from this verse number 31, we see that Yudhishthira Maharaj is awake, as soon as he wakes up after, bathing, he performs his morning duties, and then he gives charity. You see, he gives charity to the Brahmanas not by birth, but by qualification. See, he personally practiced these duties to set an example for his citizens. You see, the scriptures recommend for householders to rise early in the morning. After bathing, then chant Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Chant, read, offer prayers to the Supreme Lord, give charity. You see, in Kali Yuga, the best form of charity is giving this knowledge to others. Knowledge of the Bhagavad Gita, of the Srimad Bhagavatam. Very, very important. You see, that's the best form of charity. So I would recommend to all of you, you all come on Sundays to hear the Bhagavatam. Why not invite your friends? Give them an opportunity, to your relatives, to your friends, to hear Srimad Bhagavatam. You see? So we see in Kali Yuga, most people, they rise very late, they sleep late, they rise late, and then they waste time, you see. And when they wake up, they need the bed tea, right? Before getting off the bed, they need tea to drink to start their day. Or as soon as they wake up, they'll check your phones, right? It is said that, scientifically it's proved that as soon as you wake up and you check your phone, there's a chemical reaction in the body. So we should be away from the phone for, it is said, at least 30 minutes after waking up. If not, at least 2 hours after we have finished chanting, we have finished worshiping the Supreme Lord. You see? Nowadays, most people have no interest in self-realization. You see? So here we see Yudhishthira Maharaj, after finishing his morning duties, he came to offer respect to elders. This is one of the austerities of the body mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 17. But when he came, he could not find Dhritarashtra or Gandhari or even Vidura. So he went to talk to Sanjaya, who was the assistant of Dhritarashtra, right? He went there. Excuse me. He was in anxiety and he said, where is my uncle? He's so old. He's blind. You see, where is my uncle Vidura, who was my well-wisher, right? Where's my aunt Gandhari? Gandhari, my aunt, was mortified by the death of 400 sons. And then he started blaming himself. It's all because of me that she lost all her 100 sons. And I am so ungrateful, he's telling Sanjaya. I'm wondering, did they feel offended by me? Did they drown themselves in the river Ganges? All these thoughts are coming to his mind, you see? And then he started thinking of all his misdeeds, not theirs. That's the nature of a devotee. The devotee, a true devotee, does not find fault in others, instead finds faults in self. Like Yudhishthira was finding faults with himself, right? He wasn't finding faults with Dhritarashtra. Oh, he's the one who usurped my kingdom, who, started the Mahabharata war, etc. No. So whenever we have a thought about finding faults, at least of the devotees, we need to stop ourselves completely. And here Yudhishthira Maharaj, he started blaming himself that because of me, he suffered so much, my uncle Dhritarashtra and his wife Gandhari. And then he remembered how Vidura protected them all the time. Excuse me. So, further down this chapter, Sutta Goswami, he started relating more about Yudhishthira Maharaj, about Gandhari, Dhritarashtra, and Vidura. He said, due to compassion and mental agitation, Sanjaya was very aggrieved and he could not reply to Yudhishthira Maharaj because Sanjaya was very attached to Dhritarashtra. He served him for so many years. He's the one who related the whole Mahabharat war, the Bhagavad Gita, which he could visualize, had the spiritual vision to see while sitting in the palace. He related everything to Dhritarashtra. So he was very attached. So when he noticed that Dhritarashtra was not in the palace, he felt very sad. You see, he was compassionate because Dhritarashtra had lost everything in the war, all his 100 sons. He had lost the kingdom also. But Sanjaya did not know that Dhritarashtra left the kingdom to become self-realized. Dhritarashtra did not leave the kingdom because he was sad or sorrowful. No. So Sanjaya, he wiped his tears and he started replying to Yudhishthira Maharaj. He said, I have no idea. I have no information where both your two uncles have gone. You see, Sanjaya told Yudhishthira, I feel cheated because he didn't inform me. They just left, you see. So Prabhupada mentions that great souls, they cheat for a great cause. There is a reason behind it. Just like in Mahabharat war, Krishna asked Yudhishthira to tell a lie, in front of Dronacharya, that your son Ashwathama is dead. Krishna wanted it. It was for the satisfaction of Krishna. That is the criteria. You see? That is the highest perfection to satisfy Krishna. But Yudhishthira Maharaj, he never told a lie in his life, so he could not. And so he softly whispered that an elephant named Ashwathama died. So that Dronacharya, when he hears the word Ashwathama died, he will get such a shock that he will give up his life anyway. You see? So Prabhupada says that great souls, they cheat for a great cause, for the satisfaction of the Supreme Lord when there is a necessity. So now, excuse me, at that moment when Yudhishthira Maharaj and Sanjaya were having a conversation, Narad Muni appeared. Now Narad Muni, we know, is a very powerful devotee. Yeah, so he was received very properly. Everybody offered obeisances to him because he's the most confidential devotee of the Supreme Lord. And it is said that the pure devotees, they travel a lot, you see, to preach about Krishna. In the Bhagavad Gita, we have heard in the 18th chapter, Krishna tells Arjuna that anyone who preaches my glories is most dear to me. There's nothing about most, right? Most, you can't say most or mostest, no, most, topmost. So giving this knowledge to others is very pleasing to Krishna. So as soon as, Yudhishthira Maharaj saw Narad Muni, he said, I don't know where they have gone. I cannot find my aunt who was grief stricken because she lost 100 sons. You see, we can see from this conversation that Yudhishthira Maharaj is such a good soul. He's a devotee of the Supreme Lord. Imagine if someone, you know, did wrong to us, like take away our property or whatever it may be, something very dear to us, would we be concerned about them? Would we be compassionate towards them? I hardly doubt it. You see, immediately that feeling of enmity will develop, oh, this person did this to me and that to me, and we will not care about that person. But a devotee of the Lord does not think like that. So we see here Yudhishthira Maharaj being a good soul and a devotee, he is concerned about his enemies, those who were, actually Dhritarashtra was considered himself an enemy of Yudhishthira, but Yudhishthira never considered him as an enemy. So Yudhishthira Maharaj is talking to Narad Muni and saying, you are the captain of the ship. This whole material world is like a big ocean, and you are like the captain of the ship. Please direct us to the correct destination. You see, why is Yudhishthira Maharaj talking like this to Narad Muni? Because Narad Muni is a bona fide spiritual master. This is what a bona fide guru does. He guides on the right path, you see. And Narad Muni here is addressed by Yudhishthira Maharaj as the greatest of philosophers. You see, what a great title. A pure devotee of the Supreme Lord like Narad Muni, they are like that. They are completely surrendered. They perform loving devotional service to Krishna. So, to be called the greatest of philosophers, that is possible only when a person has spiritual knowledge, is faithful to Krishna, is completely renounced in consciousness. You see? Otherwise, one cannot be a greatest philosopher. So Narad Muni came because the Pandavas were all pure devotees of the Lord. And he came to guide them. And what did he say? He said, do not lament for anyone. Everyone is under the control of the Supreme Lord. All living entities, including the leaders, they should carry on worshipping the Supreme Lord. That way, they will be well protected, you see. It's only Krishna. Everything happens because of Krishna. It's because of Krishna, he brings them together. Some people, he'll bring them together and then separate them. Very nice analogy Prabhupada gives is that, say there is a river stream. We see some twigs, they come together because of the flow. And then because of the flow, the twigs, they go outside, or they disperse, right? Disperse in the sense they go in different directions, right? This is what life is. People come together, they stay together for some time, and then they go their own way. Like some, leave the country or the state or the city, or they leave the body, after death. There is separation. So Narad Muni is telling Yudhishthira Maharaj, this is all by the will of God. We cannot change, our quota of happiness or distress. Whatever karma we perform, based on that, we will get happiness or distress. You see, everyone comes under the law of karma. But one who surrenders to Krishna, Krishna takes care of that devotee. Name bhaktya pranashyati. That my devotee never perishes. Krishna gives a guarantee. So the best thing is, from the instructions of Vidura, from the instructions of Narad Muni, we can understand that we must try to become self realized before it is too late. If we become self realized, then we can break the cycle of karma. Nice analogy is given in this chapter that a cow is bound by a rope through the nose, right? So, similarly, the human beings, we are also bound, we are conditioned, and our position is to obey the laws of the Supreme Lord. You see, one may feel, oh, I'm free, I'm free, I'm free. No one is free. The laws of Supreme Lord, they are very severe. You cannot afford to disobey, because sometimes, we try to find loopholes somehow or the other, or make our own laws. No, it doesn't work, because Srila Prabhupada says that the laws of the Supreme Lord, they are the codes of religion. That is called dharma. But most people we see, they prefer to remain conditioned. Even after getting spiritual knowledge, you see, they don't want to follow it. That's their personal choice. And then they have to face the reactions. So here, excuse me, Narad Muni is explaining to Yudhishthira Maharaj, who's feeling very sad, not seeing his, uncles and aunt. So he says that as a player sets up, different, like say a drama, right? Performing a drama, the player, puts on some costumes or something, and, after the play is over, removes the costume, or or like a child is playing, then after some time gives up the playthings, right, according to their own sweet will. Similarly, the Supreme Lord, he brings people together for a drama, and then he disperses them at his own will. Now this all happens based on our past karma. So for each one of us, our happiness and distress, and our also time of death, is determined by our past karma. So where we are right now in this particular body, this is also due to past karma. So Krishna, he just sets up, he makes the arrangement based on all the activities we have performed. We've heard he is situated in everyone's heart as a super soul, and in the heart of every living entity, not just the human beings. So he knows everything. He's watching us. He checks all our activities. If we are born in a rich family, it is because of the past karma. If we are born in a poor family, it's because of our past karma, right? But according to Bhagavad Gita, those who surrender to the Supreme Lord, their karma is reduced by the Supreme Lord. So here Narad Muni is telling Yudhishthira Maharaj that the feeling of separation that you have right now, this is because of illusory affection. We are all living parts of the Supreme Lord. We are individual living entities, and we are eternally under the control of the Supreme Lord. Give up your anxiety. You are anxious because of ignorance of your own self. He's teaching Yudhishthira Maharaj, you are not this body, but you are the spirit soul. You are thinking that your uncles and aunt are helpless. How will they exist without you? Don't we have that feeling sometimes? Oh, I'm running the house. What will happen if I'm not there? What will happen? How will they survive? How my family will survive? Well, they will. Within 1 or 2 days, sometimes within few hours, everyone goes back to normal life. You see, that say, supposing when I leave my body, do you think my family is going to cry about this loss forever? No. Do you think that the house will crumble down? No one will be able to eat? No, everyone will find a way to cook, clean, whatever is required to live. So here, Narad Muni is telling Yudhishthira Maharaj, you are thinking, how will they exist without you? Well, they will. You see, thinking family is helpless without us is ignorance. Life goes on very quickly. He's explaining to Yudhishthira Maharaj, body is made up of 5 elements, which are under the control of time, action, modes of material nature. How can we protect others from the jaws of serpent? He calls that the eternal time as a serpent that bites. Best is to get rid of the serpent, and the remedy is to come out of the clutches of serpent, that is eternal time. How? By bhakti yoga, by mantra meditation. We chant, chant, chant every day. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Narad Muni says that those who are weak, they are subsistence of the strong. One living being is the food of another. Just like we see the lions and tigers, for them the food is deer, etc. Right? Both are living entities, but deer is very weak, tiger or lion is very strong, right? So for the lion, the food is deer. So he's saying one living being is the food for another. Those who have come into this material world, they have come against the will of the Supreme Lord, and they are under the control of Maya Shakti. Maya means illusion. And this Maya Shakti is the energy of Krishna. She is an agent of Krishna who pinches us with miseries, right? Pinches us with miseries all the time. We keep getting misery, right? That's her job, you see. And we have not made ourselves strong enough with spirituality. We have not tried hard to be on the path of self realization, and that's why we get affected, you see. But if we change our consciousness and understand that we are under the control of our past karma, we have to go through a certain quota of happiness and distress based on our past actions. So why lament? You see, there is no lamentation if a tiger eats a deer. No, there is no or if a tiger eats a man, there's no lamentation. But for the human beings, there is a law to obey. We cannot eat anything that we want or we like. You see, Bhagavad Gita clearly states, Patram, Pushpam, Phalam, Toyam, that a human beings can only take water, flowers, fruits, or leaves, which means vegetables. Animals do not need to obey this law. For them, there is no karma at all. So we cannot eat anything besides these 4, and also they need to be offered to Krishna before we accept it. You see? So now Narad Muni is continuing his instruction to Yudhishthira Maharaj. He's, do not worry about your uncles. They can get enough to eat in the forest. You focus on the Supreme Lord. You focus on Krishna's energies. Then he talked to him about the internal energy, external energy, marginal energy, right? We learned about all this in Bhagavad Gita and even in Srimad Bhagavatam earlier chapters, right? So important to understand is that in this material world, most of us are contaminated. And that is why we get affected by distress or misery. See, Krishna is there in the heart to guide us as super soul. He expands himself as a bona fide spiritual master without. Within, he's there as a super soul. He's there to guide us, right? And the purpose of the super soul being in the heart is to, first of all, watch our actions, give us guidance, and sanction our desires. See? Why does he come down periodically to the material world? To eliminate envious people, irreligious people, like he did in the Mahabharat war, right? What does it mean, envious people? Envious means those who do not obey the laws of Krishna. Devotees are obedient. And that's why they are not contaminated. They gradually try to purify themselves, not only the body, the senses, the mind, intelligence, but also the consciousness. Because they understand they are not this body. So when Krishna came down 5,000 years ago, was to re-establish dharma. You see, he's already performed his duties, you know, and he's just in you Pandavas, he's telling Yudhishthira Maharaj, you Pandavas, you may wait. Krishna has finished his job. He came down for a purpose. He's finished his mission. But you Pandavas, you wait as long as Krishna is here on the earth. See, he came to help you. He came to kill Kamsa. He came to kill all the demons. But Narad Muni did not disclose to Yudhishthira Maharaj about the annihilation of the whole Yadu dynasty. Indirectly, he gave a hint to wait because Krishna had left for his own abode. And he informed him that your uncles Vidura and Dhritarashtra with his wife Gandhari, they have gone to the Himalayan mountains. You see, there are great sages who are there in those Himalayan mountains. So he was giving future movements of his uncles to Yudhishthira Maharaj. He said that place where they've gone is called Saptasrota, which means something divided by 7. That is the place where the river Ganges, it divides into 7. And this division was done for the satisfaction of 7 great sages. Who are those 7 great sages? Kashyapa, Atri, Vasishtha, Vishwamitra, Gautama, Jamatni, and Bharadwaj. These 7 great rishis. And he said there, Dhritarashtra, he is engaged in Ashtanga Yoga. He's bathing 3 times every day. He's performing Agnihotra sacrifice. He's drinking only water. Why? So that he can control his mind and senses. That is the purpose he is, doing Ashtanga Yoga. Only drinking water. Why? Because he understands that now it's almost the end of my life. And he needs to become more serious on the path of self-realization. He wanted to free himself from the thoughts of family affection. He wanted to free himself. You see, the yoga system which is there, it is a mechanical way of controlling senses and mind and diverting matter towards spirit. It entails sitting postures like we learned in Bhagavad Gita chapter 6. You got to go to a very secluded place like a forest, sit very erect, lay kusha grass, put deer skin, and have no distractions at all. That means no phones, no relatives, no social media, nothing at all, completely free of everything. And then sit down erect with eyes half closed, half open, concentrating the vision on the tip of the nose, and then manipulating the air in the body, leading to trance, and then possibly seeing the super soul. It's very difficult, especially in Kali Yuga, right? It's very, very difficult. So the easy method given to us in this age is mantra meditation, where we chant every day. So Narad Muni is telling Yudhishthira Maharaj that those who control these sitting postures, the breathing also, they can turn their senses towards the Supreme Lord. And then, only then, they become immune to the contamination of 3 modes of material nature: goodness, passion, and ignorance. But for us, it's so easy. We don't have to give up anything. We don't have to, nothing. Just chant the holy names. No need to struggle yoga postures and all, become like a pretzel, or learn breathing. No, nothing at all. Just chanting. You see? So Dhritarashtra, he could do all that Ashtanga Yoga because he was in a sanctified place. And his one objective was Supreme Personality of Godhead. So he engaged all his senses in the service to Krishna. We can also engage all our senses in Krishna's service just by chanting. You see, towards in chapter number 14, which is modes of material nature, Krishna tells towards the end of the chapter that those who perform full devotional service, unfailing in all circumstances, they are the ones who can transcend these three modes. So bhakti yoga is like a, direct engagement of senses in Krishna's service. So Narad Muni is continuing his instructions to Yudhishthira Maharaj, guiding him and saying that Dhritarashtra, he will need to give up his false identification, right? He kept thinking, I am this body, I am the king, I am Dhritarashtra, these are my sons. He will need to give up that false identification and merge into the super soul using his intelligence. Now, merge here does not mean enter into the Brahma Jyoti or effulgence of Krishna. No, it means engage in pure devotional service, which is the highest perfection of life. That way, he will be able to give up this false identification with the body, and by the mercy of Krishna, and by the mercy of even Vidura, who guided him spiritually, then Dhritarashtra will become purified. Vidura was already free of all material contamination. He was already self realized, a great devotee of the Lord. You see? So, Dhritarashtra, he attained the stage of negation of material reaction. That means karma was not working on him anymore. Why? Because mostly the senses, they keep running to find some enjoyment. You see? But when one is not affected by the modes of material nature, then one comes to a spiritual platform, you see? And that is possible through Bhakti Yoga. So Narad Muni is finally he tells Yudhishthira Maharaj that Dhritarashtra will quit his body on the 5th day from today. Imagine, Narad Muni knew the future. So he's telling him, in 5 days, your uncle is going to quit his body. His body will turn into ashes. Now, this Narad Muni's prophecy, it stopped Yudhishthira Maharaj to go and look for his uncle Dhritarashtra, because he understood after Dhritarashtra quits his body, there'll be no need for funeral because it's going to turn into ashes, right? This is called mystic yoga. See, yoga actually means connecting with the Supreme Lord. But those who perform Ashtanga Yoga, they are able to quit their body at their own choice, turning the present body into ashes, which is called actually self-made fire. How that powerful is Ashtanga Yoga. So Dhritarashtra not only got liberated, but he did not go to the spiritual world. It's explained in this chapter. And when Gandhari came to know that her husband has quit the body, that it has turned into fire, his body into fire, Narad Muni is saying, she will enter into that fire with rapt attention. You see, her sons had died. Now her husband is dying. She's feeling alone. So she'll follow her husband in the fire. This, of course, is called the sati rite, which is not followed now in Kali Yuga. It was prevalent then, but it is not prevalent now. So Narad Muni is telling Yudhishthira Maharaj, then Vidura will leave that sacred place. You see? And of course, Vidura is very astonished to see the change in his brother Dhritarashtra, how he has become a liberated yogi. And how did he do that? It was because of Vidura. Vidura guided him, became his Shiksha Guru. and gave him guidance to leave the palace immediately and go to the forest and meditate on the Supreme Lord. You see? So, because Dhritarashtra had the association of Vidura, he was able to liberate himself. So, association is very, very important. When we associate with devotees, we are able to progress spiritually. But Vidura was sorry that he could not change his brother Dhritarashtra to a pure devotee. You see, Dhritarashtra, he had offended the Pandavas, who were the devotees of the Supreme Lord. It was an offense that he committed against pure devotees, which is the Pandavas. And offense towards a devotee is very dangerous. You see, Vidura, he was mortified by Dhritarashtra's death, so he went on pilgrimage. And Yudhishthir never had a chance to see either Dhritarashtra, Gandhari, Kunti, or even Vidura. So after speaking, guiding Yudhishthira Maharaj, Narad Muni left. And Yudhishthira Maharaj, he kept Narad Muni's instructions to heart. This is very important. When we get knowledge from a guru, whether it is Shiksha Guru, Diksha Guru, whoever it is, we must take it to heart, which means we should contemplate on it. And because Yudhishthira Maharaj kept instructions of Narad Muni in his heart, he was able to get rid of all lamentation. See? Narad Muni is a pure devotee of the Lord, very dear to Krishna. And that is his job, to travel to different planets, to help those who are, in distress, to guide them so that they can come to the platform of self-realization. You see? So next morning, Yudhishthira Maharaj notices, this is the summary I'm giving you. He wakes up, he notices uncles are gone, aunt is gone, and he becomes anxious and he worries about their safety and he feels responsible. Narad Muni arrives and reassures him, tells him that they voluntarily left for spiritual advancement. You see, everyone is under the control of time and destiny. So one should not lament excessively, you see, because all relationships in this material world are temporary. So, here in this chapter, to summarize, it emphasizes very, very important teachings. One is eternal time. No one can escape time, aging, death. Nobody. So it's important to become detached. You see, it's important to focus on self realization. See, family ties are temporary, but when we are on the spiritual path, we should concentrate on how to become self realized. A famous instruction of Vidura can be summarized as devote yourself to self realization before it's too late. Very important, you see. Dhritarashtra attained spiritual progress through austerity. And his departure, the way he left his body, it actually marks a moral and a spiritual closure to the whole Kuru dynasty's tragic history. All his sons, the whole Kuru dynasty ended. You see? For us, if we want to become self realized, what we learn from this chapter, how to become self realized, we need to focus on chanting. Chanting the holy names of the Lord. Chanting is our, you can say it is our, what can we say? Our life and soul. Very, very important. So we must chant every day. Try to find time so that we can chant every day. What? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Very, very important. So I'm going to end now. If anyone has any questions or comments,